The Gallagher Shots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the North East's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Dean, sorry to inflict this match reaction on you. You know,
It's all right.
Already had our gear set up, but wow.
Sorry, go on, mate.
Welcome to the live match reaction to a 0-0 draw down on the south coast at Bournemouth. Eddie Howe's men taking a point home, 700 and odd round journey. Not sure how they'll feel about that one, but I kind of get a feeling how we feel about it. I'm joined, as you can see, Nick All back again. Sorry, mate.
Back again.
And Dino's joined us as well. Thank you very much, Dino, for joining us.
No bother, mate.
Those people joining us on the live stream, thank you very much as well. Well, let's dive into the first comment straight away. Playing for a 0-0. Embarrassing. Dean, take it away, my friend.
Well, you knew straight away, as soon as the formation came out and as soon as the team sheet came out, you knew straight away that we're going to play for 0-0. And I don't understand the concept. Like I said in the match preview, I said we need to go all attacking, and we didn't do it again.
Yeah.
I was scared to play against Bournemouth. No, it's right. I don't understand the conspiracy theories, right? But I feel like Eddie Howe is scared to beat Bournemouth. I really do. I just don't know why. It's every time we play Bournemouth, we just kind of come away with a result. We haven't beat Bournemouth right since Steve Bruce. Let that sink in. We haven't been Bournemouth away since Steve Bruce. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Nicole, we'll try to get on some positives in a minute, but let's just get out the negativity right
now. Get the anger out.
That was shambolic, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that Eddie Howe went there for a point and he got what he wanted. He got it. So I'm trying to put that positive spin on it. It's a point away from home in the Premier League. We would have all taken it before the game. It's just disappointing, when we were even talking about it before the game. You want these players such as Willock, Chow did okay, Hall. You want them all to come in and, prove a point, and they just haven't really done it, unfortunately. Yeah. And I can't say we're that surprised about it either.
Yeah. I suppose, I do like to be a positive fellow. So, on a positive side, it's a 0. It's another clean sheet. I just want to say as a disclaimer, I'm scraping the barrel for positivity, so don't hammer us in the comments. But I think Botman was excellent.
He was
in what he had to do. We barely had any shots on target, and we limited them to very, very, very little. We'll obviously get on to the penalty incident in a moment, which is probably the only sort of kind of positive that we had, sort of tangible there, possibly. And I thought Chow was good. I think, he flagged a little bit towards the end where he picked up his yellow card. And Dean, was he lucky maybe to avoid a second yellow, maybe?
Yeah, I think we were very lucky not to go down 10 men that game. I think he was very lucky. I think it was a bit of a silly challenge, but luckily for us, we had a look at our side. I think the referee today was awful, though. I think for both teams, if I'm going to play honest, I just don't forget the bottle today. I think a lot of decisions kept making a bit weird and odd. Like, I think early in the game, I think Tonali wins the ball and he gives a free kick to them, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Chow was. I think he was a lucky boy. I think he should have got 2 yellows. And obviously he came off 2 or 3 minutes straight after, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jamal.
Replaced by Jamal Lascelles, making a cameo appearance. And he was probably playing in the last win that we had there in that orange shirt that we talked about earlier.
He was indeed. Yeah.
So maybe Howe was trying to bring on, his experience of closing out a victory against the mighty Bournemouth. Scraping the barrel again, Nicole. There was a few players rested today. Joe Linton, Bruno, in particular. you know, didn't play today. Whether they would have made a huge difference, I feel like maybe not. But is that a good thing that we managed to rest some players and still get away with getting a point?
Yeah, I suppose that is a positive. You know, you've managed to rest your key players. Be interesting to see what team he puts out on Wednesday now.
Yeah.
I think after, you know, defeat to Barcelona and a point away there, Bournemouth, I think we need to be. I mean, we should be going to try and beat Bradford anyway, but we should, you know, to get the confidence up, we should be trying to beat them comfortably on Wednesday night. And then go into the next game after that, which is Arsenal next Sunday, which again, tough one. But obviously we do tend to play a bit better at home and sort of turn it on for the bigger teams as well sometimes. So we'll see how we get on next week. But another positive I'm going to try and pull out. I thought Voldemar and Murphy linked up quite nicely a couple of times in the first half. Not in the second half, obviously, because we didn't even have a shot. But there was a couple of nice little touches from Big Nick, but you could tell he was getting tired in the second half. So
do you know? We might as well go to kind of the only real incident of note for in attacking sense for Newcastle. I know I put on the WhatsApp group my opinion on the penalty or the non-penalty. Do you know what you think?
I think it is a penalty. I just think, again, I just don't. The officials aren't say. I don't think they're watching the game. It was a blatant penalty. I think if that happens at the end of Bournemouth, they get the penalty given. So if we did that in like a Cliverd later on in the game, they'll give that penalty straight away. I just don't know what they're watching. If I'm completely honest, I was quite angry on what I tell you. You know what I mean? I mean, not very many positives, and there's quite a lot of negativity here. But I was just sitting there seething, going, how is that not a penalty? Are you not watching the game? But is that what we do? I think for me, the issue is with that pen because we had no positives and no attacking. We draw like trying to get. Oh, it should have been a pen, but that's we weren't really attacking. Did nothing in the game. So you know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't a penalty. Maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I need to just like watch it again. But I generally think it was a penalty.
Yeah, Nicole, what's your opinion on the penalty shout?
I think if it's given, it's not overturned. But it's obviously as it was, it's not. It wasn't overturned because it wasn't given. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's one of them where probably a little bit. I think it's a little bit on the soft side. If that was given against us, we wouldn't have been happy about it. So, you know, I think it's one of them, and I think we can't really be blaming that on our performance. It's you know, a lot of the comments are coming in quite positively, which is nice. Saying, you know, we need to be a bit more upbeat. So yeah, it's a good point away from home, and we can't blame the penalty decision.
No,
I mean, if we go back to the predictions, you know, it was a 1-1 from you and Dasmo, but for me, I just don't think that's a penalty. I think like he's got the shirt, but the way that he's got the shirt, maybe it is a penalty, but it's not going to get given. Like the way that Big Nick went down, I think it was too much. But then there's the argument, well, if you don't go down, you never get a penalty anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think you're caught in a bit of a hard place. Like I think if that's like you say at the other end, I think
it's given.
I think
if it's outside the box, it's a free kick, isn't it? If it's outside the box, it's a free kick. So
I would come away thinking that's harsh. That he's literally got a hold of him, let go, and then the player's kind of gone forward like this. But this is where we come back to the inconsistency of refereeing, and you know the human error element, which is supposed to be taken out by VAR. But I think since the controversy at the beginning of the season with VAR, I think now they're like, it's just such an imperfect system, and I think it's a lot of it.
It's the free kicks though, like the random free kicks. That wasn't a handball by Barnes. It wasn't a handball, and the fact they give a free kick, that's ridiculous.
That was crazy.
It was ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Absolutely crazy. I mean, you might as well give the one against Tonali in the first half then.
Exactly.
You know, the penalty, that should be a penalty Bournemouth then, because his hands like here, and like Barnes' hands is there as he's turning, and he's got his hands close into him. Like it just makes absolutely zero sense in my opinion.
It doesn't. No.
How do we feel on Tonali today? I think he performed well. He covered every blade of grass, but do you think he'll be the next one for a rest, Nickel? Do you think maybe we won't see him against Bradford and we'll save him for the Arsenal game?
Yeah, I think that could be a change we see. I think it's going to be a hard one to predict the lineup for Wednesday. I think when we do the preview, that'll be a difficult one to do the lineup because it could be anything. But maybe Sandro will get a rest I think he was probably a shining light again today for us. I think he helped Miley out a lot in that midfield. So he could be one that gets rested.
Let's chat about Miley then. Dino, I like Miley. I think he's a good player. I think he's got a lot of potential. Did we see flashes of good, the best and the worst of Miley today?
I would say so. I think I don't want to be too negative on him because he's a young lad. You know what I mean? I think to me, he needs to run a games. I think Bradford on Wednesday night isn't, so he'll probably start, and I think he'll probably have a good game. But yeah, he had moments where like he looked good, and then other moments where he lost the ball too easy. I just feel like he was under pressure a lot of the time. And when you're coming in to like sort of like replace that Joe Linton role, because I feel like that's what he was doing. Because I know it was a 2 midfield, so he was like coming in to try. You're not going to replace that. You know what I mean? Joe Linton is a different kind of player, whereas Miley needs to be upfield. Yeah, putting the balls in the box. I think, it was a mixed performance from Miley. I'm not going to be too critical on the lad because, like I say, he wasn't the worst player on the pitch for me at all.
Yeah, I think there was a comment I put on our little group where it really frustrates me at times where there was a ball that was played across him, and just he's 18 yards out. There's a few bodies, in and around the box. Like, just swing your left foot at it. Like, just have a go. And then he put his foot on the ball. Eventually, Tonali did have a shot. Yeah. I think he cycled it. He went to Hall, and then it kind of came back through him to Tonali, and then Tonali had a shot that kind of went high wide and not very handsome. But I wish sometimes players would, the ball's coming across, just hit it. Like, just trust your foot. It's crazy.
I think it's a confidence thing, though, isn't it? It's confidence. I think Miley just needs a run of games. I think once he gets a run of games, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'm honest with
you. Yeah. Let's quickly chat about our utility player towards the end of the game. Dan Burns sort of popping up left wing, right wing. Is this the way forward? Do you think we need to employ Dan Burn in a more progressive manner? Do you think that could be sort of solution to our attacking woes, as they say?
Well, he was doing this. He was doing something similar against Barcelona, wasn't he? When we were chasing, I think he was on the left wing at some point. I mean, to be fair to him, for a big guy, he always seems to do well. Like, controls the ball, and he's all right on the wing. But I think he's just I think he was obviously just probably as frustrated as the rest of us, and just trying to get that XG up.
Yeah, trying to make something happen. An XG of 0.14, is that correct, Nickel? Is that what we? Yeah. I mean, I don't really understand XG, but to me that sounds pretty low. It sounds like one of my grade averages when I was at school, 0.14. So not very nice. Sort of the next, talking point, I guess, is Voltemada. Obviously got some more minutes into his legs. He probably, Dino, won't start against Bradford, do you think? Think it'll be Osula?
I think he might start. I think we might see him. I think we might see him for the first half, then he'll take him off second half. I think he just needs a bit more confidence in his team, and I think the players need to learn how to play with him, because as you can see that game there, he was constantly trying to link up the play, and it was no one there half the time. And I think get more game time in him as well. So I think I don't think he'll get rested. I think he actually might start. But again, Eddie Howe is like a puzzle. You just don't know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? For all I know, Shea's starting on Wednesday night up front. I just don't know. You know what I mean?
I think it's like when I've been watching him play net, like in this last couple of games, it reminds me a little bit, not in the same way that they play the game, but when back in the day when Shearer was kind of the only real good player that we had, Shearer would find himself on the wing crossing balls in, and you would want him on the end of it. Whereas Voltemada's now, his game is he's kind of like a Teddy Sheringham on stilts type of player, where he wants to come in, he wants to be involved. And really, there was one time when Tonali went past him in the first half, I think. No, it was the second half. There was a little nice interchange of play. He came short, and then Tonali went past him, and he sort of played one in, I think, on him. And we needed more ambition in terms of the midfield, like you say, learning how to play with him. If Voltemada, if they see that he's coming in, that should be the trigger for Miley, or for somebody to go beyond him. And that's why before the game, Nickel, I was mentioning maybe Osula, like having Osula and not playing Willock, play Osula instead of Willock, play Osula up top, and then Voltemada can it can be like a 4-4-1-1 type formation, or 4-5-1, whatever you want. But because Voltemada, he likes to come in and likes to link play, and I think we might have needed something like that. I don't know. What do you think on that, Nickel?
Yeah, maybe someone running in behind a bit more. I think it's difficult for him when when we're not obviously not seeing a lot of the ball. I don't think. I think in the first half there was a graphic we had like 18% possession.
Yeah,
which is like what are you supposed to do with that? Like, so he's having a bit of a difficult sort of entrance to the league, and I think he's probably struggling a little bit with the physicality of how fast it is. I don't think today's game was the quickest, but yeah, I think that'll come with time. I think we've got to be patient with him and give him time. And obviously, it's a shame that Wissa, who has that Premier League experience, isn't there to sort of take the burden off him a bit, because at the minute it's really just him. Who's having to sort of start up there. So yeah, hopefully if he does play on Wednesday, then he can get a couple of goals and set himself up for Sunday.
A few people have mentioned this one, including Lee and Stevie C, about the set pieces.
I agree.
There was one against Barcelona the other day that was absolutely horrific, but set pieces today, we've got, at one point, you've got Voltemada, you've got Byrne, Chow, Botman, all 6 foot plus, massive, big units. Miley's not small either. What is going on with these set pieces?
I don't know, mate. I was saying I was at the Barcelona game. I remember saying in the stands, it's pointless us getting free kicks because any kind of set piece, because every time we do, we waste it constantly. It's absolutely pointless. And even today, I'm watching the game, when the referee was giving us corners, I thought, this is pointless. It's going to end up to being nothing. I don't understand how you can hire a set piece course in the summer and then still be bad at set pieces. It doesn't make sense.
We've got worse.
Exactly.
We've got worse. We've gone backwards.
Yeah.
We either do a short one, which we were doing against Barcelona, and that doesn't work, or we try and put it in the box and hit the first man every time.
Yeah.
Also, can I mention that kickoff as well? That is awful. What is that kickoff we're doing now?
Can we stop doing that?
It's horrendous, man. What is the point in that?
Yeah. Well, I was saying, I think I remember when Bobby Robson's teams, they would do a similar kickoff, but the difference being they weren't aiming to get it. Weren't aiming to get the other team pressed in the corner with their throw-in. He would have Shearer, Speed, and whoever's on that side, but maybe Robert, whoever. So Solano or Lee or Jennings might take the kick, and they would just angle it towards the corner flag, and then Shearer or somebody would try and win the ball, and at least then it looks like a positive move rather than just leaving your players on the halfway line on the left-hand side and just booting it, trying to get as close to the corner flag as you can, and then moving up. At least if we're proactively right, we want to actually win this ball, but it just doesn't seem to it's just Wimbledon vibes. I think Steve C
it is
infinitely better than anybody else could. I think.
But it's like goal kicks now. Why is Pope not taking most of them for now? You know what I mean? I've noticed recently, a lot of centre backs taking goal kicks now. What's good? I feel like the teams. I don't know what's on the team at the minute. Might be the exact situation, but I feel at the minute the team aren't there. They're not synchronized or anything like that. They feel like individuals rather than the team.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Do you think, Nicholas, I suppose it is a bit of an elephant in the room about the whole Summer and Isak, and do you think we are just suffering from the fact that, from beginning of pre-season, we never really played a consistent team of this is going to be how we play. Voltemada comes in late, Wissa comes in late and then is injured. It's just been it's been a disaster, to be frank.
The summer was a mess, and we can't really get away from that. I know we have strengthened the squad, but it didn't go the way that I expected it to go. And I think a lot of fans, I expected this summer to be, the summer of the major overhaul, where we would see, quite a lot of squad players leave who've been here for a while. I'm thinking of Longstaff did go, but Willock, Lascelles, I thought these kind of players would be moved on, and then we'd have a lot more incomings. I thought we would have kept hold of Isak this summer, actually, before he did all of what he did. I think they were right to get rid of him in the end, but I just think it has messed up our pre-season. I think if Elanga was the only one who really came in early, but if you'd had Elanga, Wissa, a striker, it doesn't have to be Voldemort, but a striker come in. Chow earlier, and they'd all, been around the squad since maybe, when they went across to Asia. That would have been perfect, really. But I think just pre-season on the whole was a bit of a mess. It started at that, at Celtic Park. I was there. We got absolutely battered. It was shocking. It was really horrible. And and it just didn't really get much better from there. But try to be positive. The start of the season hasn't been, it hasn't been disastrous results wise, and we have had some good performances. But we just need to start getting on a bit of a run, which I'm sure we will.
I think Eddie Howe's, he has a not history of this, but I can't think of a better word than history of this. But you'll find, the players start bedding in, and then all of a sudden between, say October or say November and January, we're going on this ridiculous run that and everybody's like, oh, what was the problem? But it is that, what our boys now are just learning on the job how to play with each other, I guess. Yeah. And we're just
especially when you're playing 3 games, when you're playing 3 games a week, you're not really training in between.
No,
it's more recovery stuff and and sort of prep for the next one. So it's not like they'll be doing a lot of on pitch work. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, games coming up this week, Bradford, and then Arsenal. So plenty for us to get our teeth into. I think we've pretty much covered as much as we can possibly bear there. I think I'm sure the lads will go into a little bit more detail on the Over Smiling Faces podcast later on or in the week. But yeah, I think we'll maybe draw to a close there. I think there's not really much else we can say about that, really, is there?
No, not really.
I'm just interested. Has the comments been the same as what we think, or?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of, a few people have, like you said earlier on, some people have been kind of positive, saying that, a 0-0 away from home is a decent result. Stevie says on about the summer, but the defender looks great and we have options there. We're set to come back and Voldemort to find his gears. With Voldemort on that, I just hope that his sort of confidence isn't sort of reduced over this period where he's having to sort of slog away a little bit without really a link, a player to link with. When Wissa comes back, he's going to take a little bit of bedding in. He's not going to be straight into the side, I don't think, or he's going to be playing half an hour, half an hour at the end of games, perhaps. And that might be hopefully not straight swap for Voldemort. Hopefully they do get the chance to.
I think they will.
Rapport in a relationship.
I think they will. I mean, the thing with Watermora though, after the Wolves game, he was linked with Joe Linton quite a lot in that game, and Joe Linton wasn't playing today. And when he came against Barcelona, Joe Linton went off as well, so he hasn't had that link-up play with Joe Linton. So that's the problem, because Joe Linton bombs on. You know what I mean? So he'd be good. Might be right, man. He'd be right. He'd be right.
No, I think Voldemort is going to be a great player for us.
He will be.
It's going to be a bit stodgy, I think, in the minute in terms of getting embedded in and not really having that, selection. And again, Ramsey walks straight into that starting 11
100%.
as well as Wissa. So, there are those positives that we can take from the beginning about, there are a bit of a bogey team for us. We didn't get beat. It does sound a bit defeatist, but we are where we are at the moment. And, I guess it keeps those ones ticking over. But yeah, so there we go. Let's end on a slightly positive note. Clean sheet. Chow looked good. Botman looked good. A few more minutes in the legs of Voldemort. We rested a few players ready for Bradford/Arsenal. So, that's all you're getting, I'm afraid, today.
I
think that's as most we can wish for. Dino, thank you very much for jumping on with us
no way, mate.
on the hop there. And Nickel, lovely to see you again, mate. And I'm sure we'll see each other somewhere further on down the line. Thank you for those people who've joined us for in the comments as well, for joining us live. Really appreciate that. And hopefully I got to as many of the comments as I possibly could. Please remember to like, subscribe, tell your neighbour's dog all about the Gallagher Shots podcast. And there'll be loads of content coming up later on in the week. So from us, we'll say ta-ra and enjoy what's left of your weekend. And how are the lads? On to Bradford. Later. Ta-ra.
See you later.
Bye.